Installation workers were exposed to asbestos not only from their work, but from the work of others around them. All trades work together. Specifically, with regard to what an insulator would do, they were in charge of insulating. They're insulators. And what did they use? Asbestos. And asbestos came in many different forms for an insulator. It could be in a powder form. They would rip open a bag, and just the mere ripping open of a bag would create dust, just coming out of the bag. Then they would pour the powder into a bucket, and the pouring of the powder into a bucket would create more dust. Then they would mix it with water and it would create like a mud sort of product. And that insulation would then be applied to pipes. It could be applied to equipment like boilers or pumps or valves. Really anywhere on a job site that required insulation, this mixture could be used. In addition, insulators would use what they call a pipe covering, and it would be two halves, like a half moon that could open up, and they were hard sleeves that could go over a pipe, and the insulators would cut it to fit, oftentimes using this in conjunction with the powder mixture. Many times they would use the powder mixture on an elbow of a pipe section while using the half moons on the pipe itself. Insulators could also use blankets. There were blankets constructed of asbestos, believe it or not, and they would use these in addition to pipe covering or in lieu of pipe covering. And the insulators did not work alone, as I mentioned. They would follow the steam fitters, and the steam fitters were there before them putting the piping together and putting the equipment together. And in doing so, the steam fitters would be fabricating gaskets or cutting packing. And gaskets and packing, these products, they contained asbestos, and insulators would be working side by side with the steam fitters. And asbestos doesn't know what trade is using the product. The asbestos only knows to go into the air, and it is breathed in by anybody who is in proximity of the product. So again, it's not just the insulator and the insulator's materials, but any of the products using around him.